The Tudor Black Bay 54 was released earlier this year to a lot of fanfare. Its 37mm case size is something collectors have been asking for quite a while. And I have just one question. Is the Black Bay 54 the best Black Bay? Hi, I'm Craig, founder of Wrist Enthusiast. Recently, I had the chance to get my hands on the new Tudor Black Bay 54, which has been slimmed down to a smaller 37mm. And I must say, this might just be my favorite Black Bay and favorite Tudor. But before I get in depth, I just wanted to remind you that if you've been enjoying my reviews and videos and want to make sure you don't miss any, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Now let's get started. It's safe to say the Black Bay, first released in 2012, reinvigorated Tudor as a brand. The no-frills diver struck a chord with collectors with its vintage inspiration, affordable price tag, and Rolex pedigree. I liked it so much that I purchased the original model with red bezel and ETA movement. In the years since, the Black Bay has become what many call a modern icon, and Tudor has expanded the lineup, releasing additional Black Bay models with complications, a chronograph and a GMT, and in different sizes and color combinations. Not long after the original Black Bay was released, Tudor expanded beyond the original blue and red bezel options to a more traditional black bezel. This additional colorway made the Black Bay even more vintage-esque and offered collectors a watch as close to the Rolex and Tudor divers of the 1950s and 1960s as we've seen. But perhaps the only criticism of the original Black Bay lineup was the size of the watch. But aided by a trend in the watch industry for smaller watches, Tudor released the Black Bay 58 in 2018. With a 39mm case diameter, this watch is more closely aligned with one of the earliest Tudor divers released in 1958. And once again, Tudor has downsized their flagship diver, releasing the Black Bay 54 in 37mm at Watches and Wonders in 2023. I had the chance to go hands-on with one, and I have to say that it might be my favorite Black Bay to date. The Black Bay 54 pays tribute to the Tudor oyster print Submariner, reference 7922, released in, you guessed it, 1954. And the Black Bay 54 takes many of the aspects of the original. First and foremost is the size. Both the 7922 and Black Bay 54 are modestly sized at 37mm. Collectors have been calling for a 37mm Black Bay for a while now, especially since Rolex will probably never size down the Submariner, and Tudor definitely delivered with this watch. The watch sits well on my 6 3/4 inch wrist, and dare I say it fits better than both the original 41mm Black Bay and the 39mm Black Bay 58. The black bezel of the Black Bay 54 also takes closely after the 7922, with numbers every 10 minutes and thick stick indexes in between. It's aluminum and unidirectional, as you'd expect from a modern diver. The bezel turns nicely, and I believe Tudor might have the best bezel movement among all dive watches, including Rolex. The crown is slightly scaled down from the 7922 6mm crown to 5.7mm, but it's still easy to grip and set the time with. The watch comes on a riveted oyster bracelet, however, the rivets are just for show. You can easily size the watch using a jewelry screwdriver. The Black Bay 54 also comes with the brand's T-Fit micro adjustment. This allows the wearer an extra 8mm on the bracelet without having to add any links. While I really like the T-Fit concept, especially since it gives you a little more flexibility than most brands' micro adjustments, I did notice a little slipping of the T-Fit sometimes when the watch was on my wrist. As I discussed before, the Black Bay 54's case is 37mm. It's also 45.6mm lug to lug and 11mm thick. The thickness includes a nice domed sapphire crystal that adds an extra vintage touch. One of the things that drew me to the Black Bay in the first place is the gilt dial. Gilt dial watches are watches that feature gold text and hour markers on a black dial. This generally appeared on watches such as the Rolex Submariners, GMTs, and Explorers of the 1950s and 1960s. The Black Bay 54's matte black dial with gold lettering, outlined hour markers, and minute track really adds a richness to the watch that I think is sometimes lost on standard divers. The watch runs on the COSC certified Tudor caliber MT5400 automatic movement with bidirectional rotor, 27 joules, 70 hours of power reserve, and it vibrates at 28,800 VPH. It's also water resistant to 200 meters, so it can function as a serviceable dive watch. and the original reference 7922 had 100 meters of water resistance, so this has a little bit more. Overall, I just really enjoyed my time with the Tudor Black Bay 54. To me, it's the closest watch you can buy to the vintage Rolex and Tudor divers of the 1950s. And while you get the vintage aspects of those watches, such as a riveted bracelet, dome crystal, and gilt dial, you also get the reliability of a modern watch. By adding the Black Bay 54 to the Black Bay collection, there really is a Black Bay option for any wrist size. And at 37 millimeters, the 54 is just a great unisex option. And finally, at $3,900 on stainless steel bracelet, the 54 is really a no-brainer for me. I'm definitely interested in potentially buying one for myself. I hope you liked my review of the Tudor Black Bay 54. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. And head over to wristenthusiast.com to check out any of our written reviews, watch guides, and just general watch news. I'm Craig Carger, and thanks for watching.